Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ken Gillespie. I'm the Commissioner of Corporate Services and Regional Solicitor. Before we begin, I'd like to announce a change in our program. Due to its scheduling conflict, Her Honor Madam Justice Janet Simmons will not be in attendance this evening. In her place, we're very pleased to have His Honor Mr. Justice Thomas Dunn. He will administer the declarations and oath of allegiance. I would now ask everyone to remain standing for the singing of the national anthem.
In accordance with the Regional Municipalities Act, I will preside over this meeting until the regional chair is elected. It gives me great pleasure and I am honored to welcome each of you to this evening's inaugural meeting of Council. This is the 10th inaugural since our Region's incorporation and one that takes us into the next millennium. I hereby call the meeting to order. I would now like to call upon Brenda Holtkamp, Chaplaincy Team Leader, Robert F. Hall Catholic Secondary School, to bring us the invocation.
I invite you to please stand for our prayer. Let us make ourselves aware of God's presence among us. God, our Creator and Sustainer, you loved us long before we knew ourselves to be lovable. We ask your blessing this evening upon those who bear office in the regional municipality of Peel. Give them a greater awareness of your love for all people and a confidence in the action of your grace in and among all of us. Inspire them with greater sensitivity to the poor and oppressed. Give them the courage to act on their behalf. We pray also for our government, that they may be blessed with a clear vision of your truth, acting in justice and compassion for all people. We pray for each of us gathered here this evening. By the power of your Spirit, may we grow in the truth that impels us to act justly, and thus give expression to the compassion of Jesus. This we ask through Jesus Christ our Lord, who lives among us as friend and Savior. Amen. Please be seated.
Thank you, Brenda. At the beginning of each council meeting, we normally have a roll call, but this evening we'll take the opportunity to introduce each council member individually. I would like to call upon Peel's Acting Chief Administrative Officer, Roger Maloney, to make the introductions. Roger?
Thank you, Bonnie. It would be appreciated if each council member would please stand during their introduction. I'll begin the introductions with Councillor Rhoda Bailey, who was re-elected as regional councillor to serve wards 8 and 9 in Brampton for a 4th term. Councillor Lorna Bissell, who was re-elected for a 3rd term to serve as regional councillor for Brampton wards 1 and 5. Councillor Christine Cooper, who was newly elected as regional councillor for Ward 5 in Caledon. Councillor Carmen Corbison, who was re-elected to serve Mississauga Council to represent Ward 1 for a 2nd term. Councillor David Cullen, who was acclaimed to Mississauga Council to represent Ward 6, a position he has held since 1980. Councillor Frank Dale, who was re-elected to Mississauga Council to represent Ward 4 for a 4th term. Councillor Susan Fennell, who was re-elected for a 3rd term to serve as regional councillor for Wards 3 and 4 in Brampton. Councillor Cliff Giles, who was newly elected to serve Mississauga Council in Ward 5. Councillor Manuel Unica, who was acclaimed to Mississauga Council to serve Ward 7 for a 4th term. Councillor Katie Mahoney, who was re-elected to Mississauga Council for Ward 8 to serve a 3rd term. Councillor Hazel Battalion, who was re-elected as mayor of the city of Mississauga, a position she has held since 1978. Miles, who was re-elected to serve for a 3rd term as regional councillor for Ward 7 and 11 in Brampton. Councillor Marilyn Morrison, who was acclaimed as a regional councillor to serve Ward 2 in Caledon for a 2nd term. Councillor Pat Mullen, who was re-elected to serve Mississauga Ward 2, a position she's held since 1985. Councillor Paul Leshy, who was re-elected as a regional councillor to serve Wards 2, 6, and 10 in Brampton for a 3rd term. Councillor Maya Prentice, who was re-elected to Mississauga Council to serve Ward 3, a position she's held since 1985. Councillor Peter Robertson, who was re-elected for a 3rd term as mayor of the city of Brampton. Councillor Pat Sago, who was re-elected for a 3rd term to serve Mississauga Ward 9. Councillor Carol Seglins, who was re-elected for a 2nd term as mayor of the town of Caledon. Councillor Ian Sinclair, who was newly elected to serve as a regional councillor for Ward 1 in Caledon. Councillor Richard Whitehead, who was re-elected as a Caledon regional councillor to serve Wards 3 and 4 for a 3rd term. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your 1997 to the year 2000 regional councillors.
I would also like to introduce Arlene Appleton, seated behind me and to my left. Arlene is the manager of our council committee support team and is our recording secretary for this evening. The next item on the agenda is the filing of clerk certificates as to the election of members of regional council. I hereby confirm that the certificates of election of all regional councillors have been filed with me by the clerks of the city of Brampton, town of Caledon, and the city of Mississauga. In accordance with the Regional Municipalities Act, declarations of office must be made by all council members. I now call upon the Honorable Mr. Justice Thomas Dunn from Central West Region of the Ontario Court declarations of elected members to the regional councillors. Justice Dunn.
Will the elected members please rise? Please repeat after me the declaration. I, please state your name. Do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, execute the office of regional councillor, to which I have been elected in our municipality. To which I have been elected in this municipality. That I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of any partiality or malversation or other undue execution of such office. And that I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, as required by and in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. And I make this solemn declaration conscientiously believing it to be true. And knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. Thank you. Please sit down.
Thank you, Justice Dunn. I now declare the Council of the Regional Municipality of Peel organized for a term of December 1, 1997 to November 30th, the year 2000. The next item on our agenda is the election of the regional chair. For the benefit of members of council and those in the audience, the election process will begin with a call for nominations from the members. Each nomination shall be in writing and duly moved and seconded by a regional councillor. The written consent of the nominee shall be appended to the nomination. A nominee must be a full 18 years of age or older, a Canadian citizen, a resident of the region of Peel, and not disqualified by any legislation. Nominations will then close, and there will be an opportunity for each mover, seconder, and nominee to speak for not more than 5 minutes, if they so choose. The voting process will then commence. To be elected, a nominee requires a majority of votes being more than half of the votes cast. I would remind members that our election procedure does not allow for the questioning of nominees. Also, a nominee may withdraw his or her name at any time. At the conclusion of the process, Council will vote on a motion to elect the individual who was successful as a result of that process. The nominations for the election of chair are now open. Are there any nominations for the office of regional chair?
Members of council, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to nominate Ellen Cole as chairman of the region of Peel. to be elected to the office of the chair of the Regional Municipality of Peel for the term of December 1st, 1997 to November the 30th, 2000. Sounds a long way. And until a successor is appointed or elected in accordance with the Regional Municipality Act and in accordance with the Region of Peel bylaw number 5095, the statement of consent is appended hereto. My pleasure to nominate Emma Cole again as chairman of the Region of Peel.
The motion was also moved by Peter Robertson and seconded by Carol Seglitz. Are there any further nominations?
I would propose.
Is there a seconder? I have a motion duly moved and seconded that nominations be closed. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Nominations are now closed. The nominee for the office of Regional Chair is Emma Cole. The mover, seconder, and nominee will now be given no more than 5 minutes each to speak to the nomination if they so choose. The mover of the nomination is Member Kelly. Do you wish to speak?
So Emil has tried his best, and we have worked with him to try to bring about the necessary controls, yes, on the taxes, but at the same time to provide the services that we feel that the people of Peel deserve. And so it's my pleasure, as I said, to nominate Emil to lead us through these next 3 challenging years. As I have said, and my council has said in Mississauga, we have no idea what your tax bill will look like in '98. But I know that with Emil's leadership and with us all working working with very difficult legislation and very difficult challenges, that we will give the people of the Region of Peel the best tax bill that we can and provide the services that I believe that the Region of Peel are entitled to. So Emil, here you are again, next 3 years, and we will work with you to give the people of Peel the best service we can facing the challenges that are before us for '98.
Mayor Robertson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to nominate Emil Kolb. You know him perhaps as I do, as hardworking. He has a strong commitment for the job that he has had. Certainly, he has a strong commitment to the regional form of government. His leadership goes beyond just chairing the meetings at the region and doing the duties of the chairman at the Region of Peel. He has given considerable leadership at Go Transit within his family of the regional chairs across Ontario, and some very strong and consistent lobbying with the provincial and federal government. Those are the kind of skills that Emil has, and we're looking forward, Emil, to working with you and hoping that all of those efforts you've put in the past will come to be in the next 3 years.
Mayor Seglitz.
Good evening, colleagues and honored guests. I am very happy to be able to second the nomination of Emma Kolb for the position of Regional Chair for the Region of Peel. I am pleased to say that I bring strong support from all of the Caledon regional representatives. I can confidently support the re-election of Emma Kolb to the position of Chair, as I've had the honor and privilege of working with Emma on both the Caledon Council and the Region of Peel. Emil's personal skills, his knowledge, and his leadership ability make him an exemplary person for the responsibilities of chairman. Emil is very dedicated, a caring person, and he does give tirelessly to our community and to all of his constituents. In my experience, his devotion and commitment and patience have been outstanding. His hard work ethic, his quiet, positive approach, coupled with caring and a very disarming smile, and his eagerness to provide helpful counsel to all of us on council has certainly been an inspiration. The position of chair does require strong leadership skills to address the challenges facing Peel, as have been spoken to both of the movers of the nomination, to guide the members of council in their deliberations, to make effective decisions. Emil Kolb has well illustrated all of these required skills. He's always been a strong team player who works tirelessly to develop a cohesive team approach and a team that does look for solutions. He's gained the respect and admiration from all of us who've had the opportunity to work with him. He encourages discussion, shares his expertise, and encourages working together for answers. His open door policy has always been available to discuss problems and share insight. Stimulate confidence in those who are working with him. Emil, you have always been an excellent negotiator, working in the region's best interest. Emil's proven commitment and success are clearly evident, and his relentless work with the province on downloading and pooling is just one example of how he works so hard for all of us in the region of Peel. Emil Kolb also has extensive knowledge of Peel, its history, its challenges, its strategic plans for the future, and he has had strong ties with Caledon, Brampton, and Mississauga for many years. Thus, with Emil Kolb's understanding of the community of communities, his excellent ability to work with others, his tireless efforts to work proactively in the best interest of Peel, I can fully support and second the nomination of Emil Kolb for chair of the region of Peel.
The voting procedure will now commence. In accordance with our election procedures, where only one nominee stands for election, a recorded vote shall be taken to determine if a majority of all members casting a vote favor the nominee's election to the position of chair. The motion before me is a motion to elect a regional chair and reads, it's moved by Mayor McCallion, Mayor Robertson, and seconded by Mayor Seglins, that Emil Kolb be elected to the office of chair of the Regional Municipality of Peel for the term of December 1, 1997 to November 30th, year 2000, and until a successor is appointed or elected in accordance with the Regional Municipalities Act, and to this end, in accordance with Region of Peel Bylaw 50-95, the statement of consent is appended hereto. The vote is a recorded vote and will be called out by Arlene Appleton.
All those in favor of the motion as read by the clerk, please rise. Standing are Councillors Begley, Bissell, Cooper, Corbison, Cullum, Dale, Fennell, Giles, Unica, Mahoney, McCallion, Miles, Morrison, Mullen, Paleshi, Prentice, Robertson, Sato, Seglins, Sinclair, Whitehead.
The vote is unanimous. Based on these results, I now declare Emil Kolb to be duly and unanimously elected Chair of the Regional Municipality of Peel. Congratulations, Chair Kolb. I ask that Chair Kolb come forward to the lectern and join council on stage while we wait the arrival of Justice Dunn to administer the oath of allegiance and declaration of qualification to the regional chair. Justice Dunn, could you please come forward?
This is a surprise to you, Emil?
A terrible surprise.
Can you take the Bible in your right hand, please? Also take that. And repeat after me the oath of allegiance. I, Emil Kolb,
I, Emil Kolb,
having been elected as chair of the Council of the Regional Municipality of Peel,
have been elected as chair of the Council of the Regional Municipality of Peel,
do swear that I will be faithful
do swear that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance to
Her
Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
If I may administer the declaration of qualification by chair. I, Emil Kolb,
I, Emil Kolb,
having been elected as chair of the Council of the Regional Municipality of Peel,
having been elected as chair of the Council of the Regional Municipality of Peel,
declare that
I
am a Canadian citizen.
I am a Canadian citizen.
I am of the full age of 18 years.
I am. Thought you might have told by my hair. I am the full age of 18 years.
I am not an officer or employee
I am not an officer or employee
of any area, municipality, or local board
of any area, municipality, or local board
of any area, municipality.
of any area, municipality.
I have taken the oath of allegiance
I have taken the oath of allegiance,
which I attach hereto. And I make this solemn declaration
and I make this solemn declaration
conscientiously believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect
it is of the same force and effect
as if made under oath. Now, will you sign those two documents for me, Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman? Excellent. Congratulations.
Okay. Thank you.
I would now like to call upon the movers and seconders of the motion to present Chair Kolb with his chain of office and gavel. So Mayor McCallion, Mayor Robertson, Mayor Seglins. And the tracks up front.
This has 10 silver medallions bearing the crest of the former incorporated townships, towns, and villages of Peel County. The Ontario crest is at the center front of the chain of office, and suspended from it is the regional crest. To the chair's left are the crests.
In order to give Chair Kolb an opportunity to assume his chair, I would now ask Steve Mahoney, Member of Parliament representing Mississauga West, to bring greetings on behalf of the federal government. Mr. Mahoney?
Looking for federal funding. Mr. Chair, members of council, thank you. I actually came here tonight because this would be one of the few opportunities I have to spend an evening with my wife. But while I have that opportunity, I would also like to tell you, Mr. Chairman, congratulations to you and to all members of council I served on local council, regional council, provincial, and now the federal House, and I would like to say, Hazel, that I'm here to bring you greetings from the most efficient level of government, but I'm afraid I can't say that. What I can, never mind the Senate. You think I should go to the Senate? We might have a job for you there, actually. Wouldn't that be a sight to behold? I do know from my 20 years in office, give or take a couple that I was out, that regional government is very effective in the region of Peel. But on behalf of them and the Prime Minister and all my colleagues in government, I wish you well. I congratulate you on your success. And I note, Mr. Chairman, that not even Hazel got 100% in the election, so congratulations.
Call upon David Tilson, our Member of Parliament that represents Dartmouth Peel, to come forward for your meetings, please.
I always hate following Mahoney, but Mr. Justice Dunn, Mr. Chairman, it's a pleasure, members of council, it's a pleasure to be here on behalf of the Government of Ontario, and I was observing all the kissing that was going on up here, and I recalled when I was first elected to Caledon, and Emil was then the mayor of Caledon, and there was a function called Cider Time in Bolton, which I'd recommend that you all go to. And at that particular function, Emil, when I was fresh elected, he asked me if I'd like to participate in this contest, to be a judge in this contest. And he put me on this stage with 500 babies, and they all looked the same. But in any event, I assisted Emil, and somehow we struggled through and picked out some of the best babies in Bolton. But it is a pleasure to be here. The Minister of Transportation, Tony Clement, is here, and I, on behalf of the Government of Ontario, the two of us bring greetings to you. And I wish you all well. I know your chairman has, well, I don't imagine Tony and I are going to get out of here before he's going to be lobbying us for something. But so I look forward to that indeed. But I wish you well. I know that the Government of Ontario and the region of Peel will work well. And I wish you all a Merry Christmas.
I'd now like to call upon Mayor Carol Seglins of the town of Caledon to bring greetings.
We have faced challenges positively and aggressively, and we have developed responsible solutions. It's in this manner that we will continue to meet the challenges and battle the province's downloading and pooling, and thank you, Tony and David, for coming and being here with us. And we will face the challenges of service delivery changes, etc., for the future. We're moving into very interesting times in Peel's history as we optimistically emerge from the recession. We work together jointly with the Greater Toronto Area Marketing Alliance to further our economic development. It'll be interesting also to work with our new partner, the new City of Toronto, as we see the evolving Greater Toronto Servicing Board. Caledon looks forward to strengthening our partnership with Brampton and Mississauga and work together, because it's together that we'll have strength. So I am very proud to represent Caledon as its mayor in this partnership, and I look forward to our working together with the new council and the excellent leadership of Chair Coe. So let us salute the opportunities before us and enjoy the positive prospects for an excellent future. Thank you for joining us.
Justice Dunn, Steve Mahoney, and Tony Clement, and David Tilson from the province, Chief Noel Catney from the region of Peel Police, and one of our colleagues from the Police Commission, Ron Webb. Former Chair of the region, Lou Parsons. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow councillors and staff, it's my pleasure to bring greetings from the City of Brampton this evening. We are very fortunate to be living where we are. Canada has consistently been selected by the United Nations as the best country in the world in which to live and work and raise a family. Toronto, or the Greater Toronto Area, that's us, has been singled out by the Fortune magazine to be one of the best cities in North America for a safe, clean, good lifestyle, and a place of opportunity. In Brampton, we all know that when you calculate the number of employees of the region of Peel per capita, combined with the number of employees that the city of Brampton hires per capita, that the ratio is 1 employee per 180 citizens. That compares to 1 employee per 50 citizens in Toronto. That's more than 300% more efficient than Toronto. I'm sure that Caledon and Mississauga statistics are almost as good as ours in Brampton. How do we do it? Well, by working together in a two-tier level of government here in Peel. We have disentangled most functions. Police, social services, seniors care, public health, water, sewer, and waste are at the region. And at the area municipality, licensing, bylaw enforcement, parks and recreation, building permit, zoning, subdivision design are locally delivered. As we watch the mega city struggle to prove that bigger is better, I hope the next 3 years in the region of Peel, we will work together and perfect the model that is working so well. This model allows for people to live in a world-class large city like Mississauga, or the choice of living in a mid-sized city like Brampton that retains those features and feelings of a small town, or to live on the urban fringe in the urban rural watershed of beautiful Caledon. I pledge to continue to deliver and to improve the most efficient model of government in the GTA. Season's greetings from all of my council, and may you have a wonderful season with your family and friends.
Your Honor and colleagues and Regional Council, Mr. Chairman, congratulations. Staff. Well, instead of bringing greetings from the Council of the City of Mississauga, I brought the entire Council. They're all here, you can see them. All re-elected with a big majority. And so we look forward to the next 3 years in which, and we welcome Cliff Giles, the new member, replacing a very faithful councillor in Mississauga, Frank McKechnie, who served for 39 years, Township of Toronto, Town of Mississauga, City of Mississauga, the longest serving, we believe, the longest serving elected person in Canada. Who represented a very exciting part of the city of Mississauga, where we have the Mississauga International Airport. So it's a real asset for us, that great airport. As I mentioned before, we have challenges ahead of us. I'm concerned about the erosion of local government in this province. We're becoming more entangled, and instead of education and social services being income redistribution, it's going on your property tax. No place for those services on the property tax. Never designed, never intended to cover those services. And so we do have challenges. And as we stand here tonight, all members of council, both Caledon, Brampton, and Mississauga, we do not know as yet the impact of the downloading and the pooling of social services. One of my councillors said at one of the regional council meetings, I think there was a Boston Tea Party some few years ago over picking us, being forced to pick up some of the social costs of the mega city, sorry. and which is undemocratic, absolutely undemocratic, because we have no say what we're called upon to pay. Unacceptable, in my opinion, in this democratic country of Canada. And so we do have challenges, and as I said, I am concerned about the erosion of local government. The most efficient, MP, Mr. Mahoney, the most efficient level of government in this country. It hasn't got the debt of the federal government, hasn't got the debt of the provincial government, right across the country, and is closer to the people, much closer than any level of government. And I think you as citizens, now we can pass all the regulations and all the resolutions at regional council as we do at York City Councils and send them to Queen's Park into the federal government. And it's a waste of the paper that they're written on until the people speak up and voice their opinion. There will be no difference. There will be no action by either the provincial or federal government. And that has got to come pretty quickly. Maybe you will when you get your property tax in '98, but that's kind of late. So I say to you as citizens, it's time you spoke up. I can just picture the next provincial election in Ontario. I believe it's coming in '99, in which all the Conservatives will all run to support the Conservative candidate, and the Liberals will all run to support the Liberal candidate. And if there's any NDP around, they'll run to support the NDP. And I don't know if there's many reform, I guess there is some around, to support the reform. Instead of dealing with the issues. And so I guess we get the kind of government we deserve. So I ask you as citizens to stand up and be counted. I think we elect people to take your opinion to Queen's Park and to the federal government and to Ottawa. I believe that's the democratic process. And so I say to you, we've done our part as a regional council. We've done our part as local councils. Mayor Seglins and Mayor Robertson have worked with me on the Greater Toronto Area mayors and regional chairs in Emilco for the last 6 years, working together on a voluntary basis to find solutions to some of the problems that we face. And we're very proud that as of September, we launched the Greater Toronto Marketing Alliance, a group of private and public people working together to promote the Greater Toronto Area. The reason I started the Greater Toronto Area Mayors 6 years ago, because I believe that the GTA, the chain, is only as strong as its weakest link. And Toronto was the weak link. And we had to work together to improve that situation. And so we had a prayer at the beginning of this meeting tonight, and I have a prayer for today for you. Dear God, so far today, I've done all right. I haven't criticized the federal or provincial government. I haven't gossiped, and I haven't lost my temper. I haven't even been grumpy, nasty, or selfish. And I'm really glad of all that. But in a few moments, God, I'm going to get out of bed. And from then on, I'll probably going to need a lot of help. Thank you, God. Amen.
As it has been noted earlier, we have some other special guests that I just want to also recognize at this time. Our first regional chairman, Lou Parsons. Lou, would you like to stand, please? Thank you. We have Chief Catney, our new chief for the Region of Peel. We also selected a new deputy chief very recently. Deputy Chief Ron Bain, I believe, is in the audience also. Someone else we work very closely with is Inspector Gary Wiles, who is here. The clerk did receive 3 additional letters that I just want to also recognize and read out. It says, thank you for your letter of August 11th, 1997, inviting me to Regional Council inaugural meeting on December the 11th. Unfortunately, given the heavy legislation agenda we are now facing, I must decline this kind invitation. Please extend to the Council my best wishes for a successful first meeting and a most productive term of office. Sincerely, Al Leach, Minister, Municipal Affairs. And also we have with us the Minister of Transportation, who Peter mentioned before, Tony Clement from the City of Brampton. Do you stand up, please? I'd also received another letter. As a provincial member of Parliament for Mississauga East, I would like to take this opportunity to extend my warmest greeting and congratulations to you on your occasion of your inaugural meeting of Council. As you start the new Council season, I wish you the success for the coming years. I am certain that your hard work and dedication on behalf of the region of Peel will continue to make it a model for other regions to emulate. I wish you all the best on this special occasion. Sincerely, Carl DeFerrio, MPP for Mississauga East. A further letter here, dear Chairman Cobb and member of Regional Council, congratulate to you all on your re-election. I regret that I can not be with you at your inaugural meeting. However, being a musician, especially at Christmas time, keeps me pretty close to the home base. However, my thoughts will be with you. My wife will be in attendance to renew our friendship. I know better than most of the challenges you face in your new term of office. Also, because I know each of you so well, I know also that your taxpayers will be well served by your administration and that Peel will always be leaders. My best personal wishes for each of you, Frank Bean. We also have with us the CAO from the town of Caledon, Gary Boyce, I believe, is in the audience, and Al Salsky from the city of Brampton. The CEO from the city of Brampton, Al Salsky, is also with us. At this time, I would like to ask our Chief Administrator Officer, Acting Chief Administrating Officer, for a few remarks. Roger?
Regional Chairman Cole, members of Regional Council, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by congratulating the members of Regional Council on your election. The residents of Peel have selected you to continue a tradition of leadership that has made Peel the best regional government in Ontario. Peel Region is very fortunate to have a strong core of veteran community leaders as councillors. You've made a career and a personal choice to be there when your constituents need you. And I think that many people would be truly amazed at the time that this takes you away from your personal lives. As a resident of Peel and a member of staff who has worked with many of you for about 20 years, I must have been very young when I started, I think. I want to thank you for your dedication, your energy, and your vision in working to shape the growth and development of a community of communities that we can all be proud of. To our new regional councillors, Cliff Giles, Christine Cooper, and Ian Sinclair, on behalf of the employees of the region, I would like to congratulate you on your election to council. We look forward to working closely with you. Our senior management team is always ready to offer any assistance, especially as you orient yourselves to your new jobs. I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate Emil Kolb on his reappointment as chairman of the Region of Peel for a third term. Emil and I also have worked together for many years now, and I know that no one works as tirelessly behind the scenes to make things happen. And I'm finding out that even more so in the last couple of months as I've worked even closer with him. Sometimes the kitchen at his home really becomes an extension of his regional office. He has a fax machine, and there are often many meetings there on weekends and at nights to keep the wheels turning for those critical projects that he sees through. Emil, you've already done a fine job for the region. The region owes you a debt of gratitude for your 30 years of political and community work and your leadership. And I'm extremely pleased to bring to you the congratulations and best wishes of Peel employees. With all that is happening now in Ontario and all the challenges before us, it's good to have you and the experience you bring with you at the helm. Employees of Peel Region take great pride in their ability to make Council's vision and directions come to life on a day-to-day and person-to-person level. We are in Peel's neighborhoods bringing residents many essential services that are fundamental to our quality of life. These services include water and sewer, arterial roads, waste management, planning, public health, senior services, assisted child care, trans health, Ontario Works, police services, and social housing. The past term of Council saw many difficult challenges that pushed employees and politicians to work incredibly hard to maintain the standards of service delivery intact. The Ontario government has chosen a course of action in an effort to get its financial house in order that has forced the region to make many difficult resource decisions as financial support from Queen's Park has diminished. Peel employees have taken up the challenge of maintaining our services to Peel residents with dedication and an innovative, even entrepreneurial spirit. We realize that we are on a wave of change that will see government reinvented in Ontario. We are not watching from the sidelines. Peel Finance, Peel Public Works, and Peel Living have all undergone difficult restructurings, and other departments have also downsized to ensure that we are best positioned to efficiently and effectively provide services. Tough decisions have also had to be made to re-engineer some of our processes by investing in new technologies. Peel employees take great pride in their achievements, which is a result of an unfailing and compromising commitment from Council and staff to continuous improvement. There are always improvement opportunities to seize, new ideas to test, and new challenges to overcome. Diminishing resources and a population that is increasing in size by 25,000 people each year are demanding a new and innovative look at how we meet the needs of Peel. Peel staff are continuously working to enhance Peel residents' ability to easily access the information and services that they need. We are asking for input from our clients, and we are responding with time-saving changes such as a one-call access to Peel social services, a new Peel Living customer services line, Peel's waste line, and Peel's health information line. Peel Region's website has undergone a recent upgrade to better structure information about our services and upcoming regional events. We are in your community every day, involving you and your residents in public meetings to discuss services and new issues that will impact the region. We are working with residents on special working groups such as the Caledon Community Resources Study and the Peel Agriculture Advisory Working Group. Partnerships such as these are what keep the region of Peel and the people we serve connected by a common vision. The incredible force for good that is Peel's volunteer sector has become a vital resource. Many Peel health programs and the region's 3 long-term care facilities are examples of an incredible volunteer dynamic that speaks volumes with the character of our community. We do our best to thank these volunteers for their work, but I think it should also be recognized here because we could not do so much without them. Looking ahead, there are a great many reasons to be confident and a great many challenges that will never permit us to be complacent. If we are to continue to meet the needs of one of the fastest growing regions in Ontario and indeed in Canada, we must continue to strive for new and innovative service delivery. We must continue to refine our performance measurement program to a new standard of accountable government to the residents of Peel. We must also build on our partnerships in all sectors with the shared vision of what we want Peel Region to become in order to maximize precious resources today and plan responsibly for tomorrow. To our new Peel Regional Council, let me say once again that your employees congratulate you on your election, and we look forward to working with you. We are confident in our ability, guided by your leadership, to meet the challenges ahead and deliver on the vision of Peel. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Special guest speaker with us here this evening who happens to be a very close neighbor of mine. And so for me, Taylor Parnaby is a fairly popular person because they do listen to CFRB. Now, I know all the young kids in here wouldn't bother listening to CFRB because there's no music on that suits their taste these days. And so I'm going to ask Bonnie Zarin to come forward and introduce our special guest this evening. Bonnie?
Thanks, Emil. Taylor, also known as Hap Parnaby, is an award-winning Canadian radio journalist who has spent almost 40 years watching the world go by. His assignments have been throughout Canada, the United States, and Europe, including the United Nations, the White House, the Kremlin, the Simpson trial in Los Angeles, and every federal election in Canada since 1964. He was born in Toronto, raised in Orillia, and attended both Queen's and Carleton universities, studying engineering, political science, and economics, leaving each before graduation to pursue his career in broadcasting. His career began in 1956 at CFOR in Orillia as a jack of all trades. He has served as news director of radio stations in Kingston and Toronto, as Ottawa bureau chief and president of News Radio Limited, a national radio news agency, and as president of CKO Incorporated. Today, he is the managing editor, feature news broadcaster, and commentator for CFRB 1010 Toronto, Canada's largest private radio station. His awards include the Canada 125 Medal for Community Service, an honorary diploma from Humber College, where he has served as the chairman of the Board of Governors, Canadian Association of Broadcasters Gold Medals for Excellence in Broadcasting, and several National ACTRA nominations. In 1996, he was made a Paul Harris Fellow by Rotary International for his contribution to community education and broadcasting in Canada. Taylor lives in Palgrave and is married with 3 sons, one married and living in Caledon, a second son seeking his doctorate in history at Memorial University in St. John's, and a third son in 4th-year honors history at Queen's University in Kingston. His spare time is spent reading history, studying railroad history in Canada, and watching the world go by. Welcome, Taylor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, for those kind words. Mr. Justice Dunn, Mr. Mahoney, Mr. Tilson, Mr. Clement, enjoy the weather tomorrow, 1 o'clock, 407. It proceeds to Milton and the 401. Mr. Chairman, your worships, members of the Regional Council of Peel, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our little corner of the world. It's indeed a great honor to have been asked to offer a few words as you begin this chapter, this next chapter in the history of our community. Congratulations, neighbor, on your selection as chairman for the region again, and to the mayors and representatives from Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon for having both succeeded and survived the election process. I spent some time noodling what might be said on an occasion like this. After all, it's not often that a citizen gets a chance to offer unbridled comment in the presence of the municipal councillors meeting in formal session. As a critic, you're inclined to throw darts or offer gratuitous advice. We'll leave that for other times. I did spend, though, a bit of time reviewing the history not only of the regional government but of this region itself, and I have noted that despite quite notable achievements over more than 140 years, one matter seems to have been neglected. We are peelers. Peelers. A region named after the British Prime Minister who ushered in the Victorian era, who presided over as much reform in the 19th century as Britain could endure, and who died, unfortunately, falling from a horse after riding down Constitution Hill. That was 1850.
4 years before the government of Upper Canada gave status to the county of Peel in Sir Robert's honor. And nowhere in the documentation can I find any record that we have ever attempted to update Sir Robert on these lands of his name. And so a brief letter to Sir Robert Peel, PC, deceased. Care of Heaven's Gate, London, North by Northwest. My apologies, Madam Clerk, I have neglected to obtain the postal code. Dear Sir Robert, I have no doubt you would be greatly surprised and pleased at the fortunes of the people who have and do live in this county, the region bearing your name. 4 years after your unfortunate death, Peel became a county. We are now a region to the west of what you may have known as York, in an area which has grown from a polyglot of crossroads and hamlets into one of the fastest growing regions of Canada. Hundreds of thousands of people live here now, between the lake and 2 counties to the north, one named for Lord Simcoe, the other for Lord Dufferin. To the west, another region named after the Duke of Wellington, under whom, Sir Robert, you served, and the region of Halton. Our peoples from many lands have turned plains and forests into farms, towns, and cities. A region crisscrossed by railroads and highways, served by mains and pipes, powered and heated by gas and electricity. By and large, we live in fine homes, we provide education for our children, we take care of our needy, we find time to watch television, read newspapers and books, play and watch games, attend church and community events, and live to the ripe old age of, on average, 80-some-odd years. Quite frankly, Sir Robert, we live in about the best place in the world. Oh, Sir Robert, we do have our problems. Never enough money to do all the things that need doing. Never enough time to push living to its limits. But by and large, despite our well-honed ability to whine, we are a happy lot. Of specific interest, sir, the undertakings of the government of the region of Peel. The distinguished chairman would be more than happy to provide you with some insight into the corn laws of Canada. After all, Emil, he's grown some. Chairman may also be willing to share a few thoughts on his force of bobbies, given his interest in policing. I am aware, Sir Robert, of your abiding interest in the arts. You'd enjoy Mayor Hazel McCallion of Mississauga. She's been running that store for more years than most any mayor in Canada, and like you, she insists on paying the way, balance the books, or find other means, her creed. Hazel's place has just opened, sir, a remarkable edifice for the performing arts, and for which Mrs. McCallion deserves full credit. You might like a word with the Lord Mayor of Brampton, too. I know both you and your father had an interest in business and industry. Peter Robertson's been building quite a community. You should see what his worship and his people are doing with the garbage. They burn the stuff, clean as a whistle, and create electricity to light more than a few hundred homes. And you might, sir, have time for Caledon, too, the domain of her worship, Mayor Carroll. I have a suspicion it might remind you of your time spent in Lancashire or at Tamworth. Farmers here still tend their crops and take them to market. The deer run freely in the woods, and the ducks and our geese have the full run of the ponds and rivers that course through Caledon. I think you get the message, Sir Robert, about life in the region of your name, built by people who respected the land, but who kept an eye on its future, and who, with goodwill, determination, and common sense, have built a community that would make you proud. Not perfect, we will all agree, but on balance, I think it's as close to perfection as any region of Canada or the world. The challenge for those here at this inaugural tonight will be no different than the challenges you faced in the last century, trying to sort out somehow what's best for all now and for those who come in the years ahead. I trust, Sir Robert, this update will suffice. Yours truly, this December 11th, 1997, Taylor Barnaby, Duffy's Lane, Town of Caledon, Region of Peel, Province of Ontario, Canada, and postage paid.
On the agenda, it says something about now the chairman's remarks. So first of all, let me say it's a great honor to have Mr. Dunn here to perform the duties here this evening. And it's a great honor to have as many of you in the audience as we have, and the members that come from all sorts of life, from Parliament, from the legislation, and also from our community. I want to, first of all, thank Hazel and Peter and Carol and all of the councillors, especially for their support, for Hazel and Peter for nominating me, for Carol for seconding my motion. And it is a real honor to be able to be here this evening to think back in this beautiful country of Caledon here, in this country of Peel that we have here. And it's just about 58 years ago that my parents had moved here with my two sisters and my brother who are in the audience, and we all still live on the same, almost on the same farm that we did when we moved here 58 years ago. And so I have seen a great many changes that have happened in this region, always having an interest in it, and so it is an honor to have been able to have this inaugural here at Caledon on this special occasion for me to be re-elected as chair for the third time. It has been a great opportunity also for me to work with all of the council members that I feel so proud about because your constituency did put you back into power, and many of you had great support from your communities. Some of you were acclaimed, I know, but a lot of you did run because others had wanted the challenge. And most of you had returned with very high percentage of support from your community. And when you get up into the 90s of voters that support you in an election, I think it's a great tribute to all of you for the work and for the efforts that you have put in representing your constituency. I want to say a welcome to Christine and to Ian from Caledon as new members on this regional council, and also to Cliff Giles from Mississauga. It's great to have you on board, Cliff. It is, as Hazel had said earlier, a sad day to not have Frank McKechnie here, who has served so many years in this region to represent the people of Malton and the job that he did in the years that he was with us. It is also good to see the regional chairman, the first regional chairman that we had when we started back in 1974, Lou, and it's always great to see in the community and the functions, and I hope you keep up and keep active in the community. This council meeting marks the beginning of a new term, a term together where the community and the business people will face incredible changes over the next 3 years. And the changes that we will be facing are far-reaching, and I say they are the biggest changes ever in the history of Ontario that will take place. And it'll be very difficult for us to watch as we manage the challenges as we in for the future. As this has been said by others about the high growth that we have in this municipality, it'll take council's attention to surely watch how we develop and grow in the future. We have spent a lot of time over the past 6 years in developing the hard infrastructures, services that we have needed in this region, and we have been very successful with the tools and the partnership that have been made available to us for the potential that this region holds. Because of the changes just approved by the province, our focus is going to shift to include much greater emphasis on the human services that we provide in our community. Services like housing, public health, childcare, Ontario Works, and there are many others. This is an interesting perspective because we will be a little less preoccupied with the infrastructure, which is now quite developed, and we will be working to address the very real social needs that our communities are looking for and for the quality of life that we have given to this region of Peel and to our communities. Today, December the 11th, 1997, we do not know what the full financial impact of the changes because the province has not yet completed its homework on the who, what, does, what initiatives. I liken the province to who does what initiatives like a voyage, one that the province expects us to take without a map, without a distinction, and without the proper equipment and resources, but that is not Peel's way of doing business. In Peel, we plan and we chart our course in working with you to manage the changes ahead. There are three things that I am sure of, though, is the ability, the experience that this council has, the knowledge and the skills and the support of the regional professional staff, and the willingness of the municipalities in Peel are working together for the best interest of the taxpayers. Over the past 6 years, we have accomplished many things together, including holding the line on taxes below the inflation rate. We have maintained our AAA credit rating. We've also reduced our rates for sewer and water. And we have introduced new management practices to improve the efficiency and to better understand what the cost of doing regional business. Among the many achievements that we have achieved in this region, one that has been a struggling one over the years, and Peter Allen is in the audience, is the official plan for the region of Peel. It has almost taken us 25 years to achieve that goal, and we are almost there. I think the greatest achievement of this council, or the credit goes not only to myself, but to our councillors and to our staff, is that we became debt-free in this region last year. Not one red cent was used to pay interest charges last year in our operating or capital budgets. We've led the way in the infrastructure programs that were put together by the region and by the province and by the federal government. We managed to sell the model of the water billing system that we have in this region to the region of Ottawa-Carleton for $400,000. The waste integration and the development of a long-term waste strategy plan without a landfill site has been a major accomplishment, I believe, to our council and for the future of protecting our environment. We negotiated approval for the provision of wastewater to the region of York, which will yield over $80 million worth of revenue to the Peel taxpayers over the next 20 years. We have increased the efficiencies of police service, and we've expanded our community police stations into our communities. We have also forged many partnerships. We lead all of these and many other accomplishments in facing the reduction of the support that the province. As you can remember, there was the expenditure control, the social contract, the reduction of grant, and the downloading onto the municipalities over the last 6 years. These challenges inspire council and staff to work even harder to achieve more, so that we would not be longer to be quim and so vulnerable to the whims of the province, and that we would be able to manage our fiscal responsibility in economic downturns. Together, over the next 3 years, Council faces very significant internally and externally pressures. Internally, we must continue to capsize and steer the region of Peel. In order to withstand external pressures from senior levels of government, we must map a sound course that we will ensure we can manage to the province who does what implementation. I am sure everyone around the Peel Council table agrees with our goals must be to limit the financial exposure those pressures will place upon our taxpayers. We'll work hard to preserve the quality of life that we have built with our communities. With so much uncertainty and change, it is all too easy to focus all of our energy on fighting fires. To do this would not serve our taxpayers well. There is enough experience, talents, ability, and will on this council to be able us to work together to address not only the fallout of who does what, but also the needs of our region. To this end, we are about to revisit and update our strategic plan to the region beyond the year of 2000. Council must continue to encourage and support staff to build upon the success of our earlier strategic plan and continue to improve strategic and our internal efficiency programs. Together, Council staff at the Region of Peel have worked hard, and our efforts to serve our taxpayer has paid off for the taxpayers for us. We are becoming now as a leader in public administration on a number of fronts. Benchmarking, corporate performance measure, active base costing, re-engineering process, service improvements, and the list goes on and on. Our goals must be to retain the leading edge of all program areas, to continue to foster a support yet challenge the environment of our staff. The province or the provincial downloading will have a real impact on our regional operation and tax base. We have a real challenge to manage the downloading in a responsible manner while ensuring our taxpayers full appraised of the changes and what it means to them. If it is the goal of the province to make municipalities more self-sufficient with the operations that are sustainable, then the province must look to those municipalities, like the Region of Peel, for advice on how we do what. We are willing and able to work with the Government of Ontario to manage the changes effectively and efficiently, but we need the province to listen carefully to work with us. Council will have to work closer with staff to ensure that the region takes on the new additional program services in the most cost-effective manner possible, and I will look to Council to assist me in ensuring that the province allows us the flexibility we need to truly manage the programs on behalf of our taxpayers. Within the GTA, we have two additional challenges: the Toronto Equalization Grant, known as pooling of social service costs across the GTA, and the potential creating yet a third level of municipal government, the Greater Toronto Service Board. I have not been shy about my opinion known on either one of these issues. I agree Toronto needs assistance to manage its social costs that it must bear on behalf of the whole province, if not the whole country, but that the assistance most appropriately comes from the provincial income tax base, not the property tax base. Placing the burden of these costs on the 905 is wrong and inadequately at any time, but especially at the time when our communities continue to have unmet service needs as identified by United Way's Fair Share Task Force appeal. Should the new City of Toronto need assistance, I would propose, as many others have, that the new assessment system must be settled in first, along with any amalgamation savings. And we all need to better understand the financial impact of the provincial downloading on our own operating costs and to the taxpayers. When all of these changes have settled in, then let us all sit down together from across the GTA with the province to determine if anything more can or should be done to ensure that the GTA as a whole and all of its parts continue to flourish and grow in a healthy and competitive environment. The province has definitely put the cart before the horse on both of the concept of pooling social service costs across the GTA and in the case of creating a Greater Toronto Service Board. I can see the value of municipalities from across the GTA coming together with the provincial and the federal governments to discuss strategic initial and facilitate resolution of intergovernmental issues. This type of cooperation occurs today without the GTSB, and this cooperation approach should be continued. And Hazel had made some comments in her remarks about the getting together of the mayors and the chairs in this way. And there probably are ways to improve that, which can be done better than the GTSB becoming another level of government. However, if the GTSB is formed, we must ensure that our taxpayers have one voice through a unified representation from the Peel municipalities. On January the 1st, the region of Peel, a municipality that will be over 1 million people in about 5 years' time, will wake up to a giant right next door, the new city of Toronto, with its 2.5 to 3 million people. And while we may all have had our own opinions about the creating of this new municipality, we must now begin to work and establish good working relationship with our neighbors to the east. I will be looking to all of you for ideas on how to forge a positive, ongoing relationship and mutual understanding with respect to our neighbors, the new city of Toronto. Together, we must work to demonstrate the effectiveness of our two-tier structure, to overcome any barriers that may exist or develop simply because we are structured differently. For me, our difference in structure will stimulate the competitiveness environment and to provide additional initiatives to ensure that we are functioning at a peak efficiency for our taxpayers. Last but not least, we have set ourselves two challenges from the last term that will truly test our ability to serve our taxpayers above else all. As you will recall, last spring, Council directed that we come together with our area municipality colleagues at the beginning of the new term to develop the principles that will guide and rationalize our service at both the upper tier and the lower tier. Over the past several terms, we have been doing some fine-tuning, for example, with the integration of waste to the upper tier and the migration of some planning responsibilities in the land division to the lower tiers. Working with Council, I will endeavor to guide the process for Council to develop these principles, with the goals to continuously improving the way that we do business in the best way that is in the best interest of our taxpayers. At the same time, I'm encouraging similar reviews with other partnerships such as the police and the conservation authorities. The other challenge for Council is to look at the way the governing structure within Peel. Again, I will work with Council and all the stakeholders with a commitment to renew the Region of Peel government structure for the future. As I stand before you tonight, I cannot forecast all of the issues that we as Council will face over the next term. But keeping the public good in mind, what I can say to you with full confidence is that I will continue to work hard for Council and for the Region of Peel, no matter what the issue. It is my hope that the vote of your confidence you have given me tonight is reflective of your willingness, individually and collectively, to allow me to work with you to continue to make this Region of Peel the best it can be for our taxpayers as we journey together to the year to and beyond the year 2000. So I thank you again very much for all of your support, and I look forward to working with you in the next term. Thank you. Okay, I have a motion by Councillor Mullen and Councillor Miles that bylaw 7997 to confirm the proceedings to Regional Council at its meeting held on December the 11th, 1997, and to authorize the execution of the documents in accordance with the regional bylaw relating thereto, be given the required numbers to read and taken as read and signed by the chair and the regional clerk, and the corporate seal affixed thereto. All those in favor? Carried. Just before we adjourn then, I would also like to take this opportunity in thanking all of the people that have made this evening such a success. All of the staff from the Robert Hall Catholic School that were in here tonight, especially the vice principal and coordinator, and all of the custodian, the cafeteria people, and also those that have helped organize for the traffic, the OPP, and those people. Justice Dunn, thank you for coming here to do the swearing of the allegiance and the declarations. And anyone that I've missed, I apologize. I believe we got St. John's Ambulance here also, so I'd like to thank them, the cadets, and the Canadian Armed Cadets also. And I think anyone I've missed, I'd like to include them with that. And just before we adjourn, I would ask you all to stand, and we'll have God Save the Queen. I welcome you all to join us in the reception out in the lobby, and the councillors are just going to go and have their picture taken first, and then we'll join you all. Motion to adjourn then? All those in favor? Carried.
Just wait for the pipers.